Hello and welcome to K News. This is Hardik Trivedi. Let's have a look on what is happening in India and in the world. The chief of police in Tucson, Arizona on Wednesday offered to resign after he released a video showing the death of a Latino man who said he could not breathe as police handcuffed him and placed him face down to his stomach. Carlos Ingram Lopez died on April 21, police restraining him in a prone position with his hands behind his back for about 12 minutes, Police Chief Chris Magnus told a news briefing. The video showed Ingram Lopez repeatedly asking for water, crying out, moaning and breathing heavily until he eventually falls silent. 3 police officers resigned over the incident, Magnus said. An investigation found they committed multiple policy violations during the incident, Magnus said, adding that he offered his own resignation. A source said Tucson's city manager had yet to accept Magnus' resignation. The involved officers did not live up to our department's high standards. The protests were sparked by the death of George Floyd in police custody in Minneapolis on May 25. Police reported Ingram Lopez died from a sudden cardiac arrest with acute cocaine intoxication and an enlarged heart, according to the Pima County's medical examiner's report. Ingram Lopez had committed domestic violence against a significant other 2 days before his grandmother called police around 1 a.m. on April 21 and told them he was drunk and yelling, Magnus said. Ingram Lopez was acting in a highly erratic manner when he was taken into custody and officers handcuffed him inside the garage of the family home. Officers performed CPR and used Narcan to try to revive him after he became unresponsive. BJP National General Secretary Bhupendra Yadav on Wednesday alleged that TMC workers are misappropriating relief materials and food meant for Cyclone Amphan victims in West Bengal, and also accused the Mamata Banerjee government of depriving the people of the benefits of the central schemes amid the coronavirus situation, claiming that the state is lagging behind in healthcare, education and culture, in which it once used to be a leader in the country. Yadav said that soon the BJP will get a chance to change the situation for the better. We all know that during its 34-year rule, the left front caused huge damage to industrial activity, culture, education and democratic values in the state. But Mamata Banerjee, whom the people had brought to power with much hope, impaired the situation further instead of all alleviating the problems, he said, addressing a virtual rally. BJP State President Dilip Ghosh claimed that at least 34,000 criminal cases have been lodged against BJP workers and supporters in the state by the police for participating in democratic political activities. Even during the coronavirus pandemic, the TMC workers have been indulging in violence against our people, accusing the TMC distribution through the public distribution system. He alleged that rice, wheat and lentils are being looted from the ration shops and godowns. He alleged that the TMC government has failed to tackle the COVID-19 outbreak in the state. Yadav said that through policy intervention, the central government has provided a big relief to the farmers of the country. He said that the central government has decided to bring changes in the Essential Commodities Act for the benefit of the farmers so that they can get proper price for their produce. Stock limit of produce will be imposed only under exceptional circumstances after the amendment. The Delhi High Court Wednesday refused to grant bail to an accused who allegedly pointed a pistol at a police head constable during the communal violence in northeast Delhi, saying his intention was to become a hero and now he will have to face the law. Justice Suresh Kumar Kate said he was not inclined to grant the relief to the accused Shahrukh Pathan, after which his counsel withdrew the plea. The plea is dismissed as withdrawn, the court said, conducting the hearing through video conferencing. The court orally observed, if you take law in your hands and become a hero, then you have to face the law. Pathan sought bail, saying he was to take care of his 76-year-old father, who is unwell, and there is no one in the family to look after him. Advocate Asghar Khan, representing Pathan, submitted that he has been in judicial custody for 113 days and has clean antecedents and not required for investigation as the charge sheet has been filed. The council referred to the order passed by the High Court on Monday, granting bail to Jamia student Safura Zargar on humanitarian grounds, and said Pathan's bail plea be also considered that way. Additional Public Prosecutor Amit Chadha opposed the bail plea, saying they have got two more CCTV footages clearly showing the accused firing with the pistol, and there is ample evidence to show what the entire country witnessed. On the submission of counsel for the accused that he has to take care of his ailing father, the judge observed he should have thought about his family when he was brandishing a pistol. While committing the offense, you forget everyone, and now you are thinking about your aged and ailing parents. Pathan, whose picture showing him pointing a pistol at unarmed Delhi police head constable Deepak Dahiya during the February communal riots went viral on social media, was arrested on March 3 from Shamli district. He lodged in jail in the national capital. The police registered a case against him under the Indian Penal Code and the Arms Act. ED and CBI are trying to tighten the noose around real beneficiaries of the 70 million euro bribe paid in Augusta Westland scam, officials familiar with the development said. Wednesday's raids on the premises of realty firm MGF MD Shravan Gupta by the ED were focused at money trade, which moved through several companies over a period of time. Subsequently, CBI is set to soon file a charge sheet against 5 senior government officials and British middleman Christian Michel, for which it has already sought prosecution sanction from the government. Officials in both the agencies said there will be major developments in the case in next couple of months. Officials cited above said Gupta, who was the director of erstwhile Emaar MGF, is under the scanner for appointment of another European middleman, Guido Hashke, as independent director in the company in 2009. Hashke is wanted by agencies and is said to be living in Italy. Gupta was earlier questioned by the ED in 2016. According to the ED, which has already filed half a dozen charge sheets in the case, total 12% kickbacks around Euros 70 millions was by Anglo-Indian firm Augusta Westland through two sets of middlemen, Christian Michel James and Guido Ralph Hashkel, for further payments in India to influence the rupees 3,727 crore 12 helicopter VVIP chopper deal. The CBI, in its charge sheet filed in September 2017, claimed Michel had signed two agreements with Augusta Westland. one for euro 42 million, which he later reduced to 30 million, and second agreement for euro 28 million with the family to be honored in full. The CBI had also claimed that Augusta Westland's competitor for the contract, Messrs. Sikorsky, had quoted the price of over 50.64 crore US dollars, that is around 2,228 crore for 12 VVIP and non-VVIP helicopters, while Augusta Westland quoted euro 592 million, that comes to rupees 3,966 crore, which was approximately 80% more than the rate quoted by Messrs. Sikorsky. This was approved by Cabinet Committee on Security in 2010, with final cost negotiated at rupees 3,727 crore. Emaar India meanwhile issued a statement on Wednesday saying Gupta has no role in the company. Emaar and MGF had parted ways few years back, and Mr. Shravan Gupta has no role in Emaar India and is also no longer on the board of the company. Emaar India is directly under the control of its parent Emaar Properties, PJSC Dubai, and is fully in compliance with the rules and the regulations of the law of the land. As a responsible corporate Government agency. Earlier in the separate case pertaining to forex exchange violation, ED had seized Gupta's assets worth rupees 10 crore in 2018 for allegedly holding undisclosed deposits in a Swiss bank account. Former Haryana Chief Minister Bhupinder Singh Hooda on Thursday flagged the centre over the rising fuel prices, saying it is bound to have a cascading effect and burden common people. He said the diesel and petrol prices have been going up daily for over 2 weeks now, and the situation has come to a point where diesel and petrol prices are almost at par now. He said the burden of the fuel price hike has fallen on the common people and farmers, whose lives have already been adversely hit by COVID-19 pandemic. Hooda further said the farmers have been hit the hardest as they are dependent on diesel for irrigation and transport. The rising petrol and diesel prices will lead to increase in prices of other essentials, said Hooda, who is also the leader of the opposition in the state assembly. Fuel prices have direct correlation with inflation. As fuel prices rise, the transport fares and production costs also rise, and this starts an inflationary cycle in the economy. He said fuel prices in Haryana used to be the cheapest during the Congress rule, as taxes were kept at the lowest possible levels. People from other states also like to get petrol and diesel from Haryana during our time. This was because we kept VAT on petroleum products at 9%, which has been doubled in the BJP rule. In Haryana too, the prices of both petrol and diesel are touching rupees 80 per litre. In just 19 days, the price of petrol has increased by rupees 8.66 and diesel by rupees 10.62 per litre. Earlier on May 5, the central government increased excise duty on petrol by rupees 10 and on diesel by rupees 13 per litre. The former chief minister demanded that the prices of petrol, diesel and LPG should be brought down to the level of August 2004. I say this because the price of crude oil is still close to US $40 per barrel like it was in August 2004. In August 2004, petrol cost rupees 36.81 per litre, diesel rupees 24.16 a litre and LPG cost rupees 261.60 per cylinder. but today petrol and diesel are being sold for around rupees 80 a liter and gas cylinder for around rupees 600, he remarked. He said even when the price of crude oil was US dollar 107 per barrel during Congress-led UPA's time in May 2014, the petrol sold at rupees 71 a liter and diesel at rupees 55 per liter. It's time for a short break. We'll join you in a short while.
వేసవి అవుతుంది ఫన్ విత్ కూలర్ నంబర్ 1 ఇక చేసుకో మోర్ ఫన్ ఉంటే కూలర్ నంబర్ 1 ఇక డోంట్ రన్ ఫ్రమ్ ద సన్ ఉంటే కెన్స్టాన్ నంబర్ 1 पहली नजर हो गया मैं दीवाना 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 इतना सुंदर जैसे कोई सपना सुहाना मैं दीवाना दीवाना
कचारिया टाइल्स, जो देखे वो दीवाना।
Welcome back to K News and thank you for watching. Let's continue the streak of news. United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres expects all member states to live up to their obligations under the relevant Security Council resolutions. His spokesperson said after a US State Department report classified Pakistan as a safe haven for terrorists. The US report had also underscored that Jaish-e-Mohammed founder Masood Azhar and 2008 Mumbai terror attacks mastermind Sajid Mir were widely believed to be living under the protection of the state in Pakistan. The report mirrors concerns expressed by New Delhi on numerous occasions about Pakistan's complicity in sponsoring, promoting or supporting terrorists operating from its territory. The UN chief spokesperson Stephen Dujarric told reporters that the UN Secretary General's office would not comment on the US report, but he went ahead to deliver his message nonetheless. At last count, Pakistan is home to 130 entities in the United Nations Security Council's 1267 sanctions list. But several UNSC sanctions monitoring teams have noted that Islamabad has not acted against most of them, like when Islamabad told a visiting UNSC team in March this year that they had not been able to even identify or locate most of the 130 designated terrorists. According to counter-terror officials in Delhi, Pakistan acknowledges the presence of only 19 terrorists sanctioned by the UNSC on its territory, including Jaish founder Masood Azhar, who was designated global terrorist only in May last year. 10 years after India's first push to have him blacklisted, the US had designated Azhar as a specially designated global terrorist in 2010. The latest State Department report noted that Pakistan had made no effort to use terrorist figures such as Azhar and Lashkar operative Sajid Mir. Sajid Mir had ordered Ajmal Kasab's team of terrorists to kill the Israeli couple in Chabad House in 2008 by terror attacks. After its arrest and prosecution for the 9th time in 2019 had come under intense global pressure as Pakistan faced the possibility of being blacklisted at the initiative of the US by a global watchdog on terror financing and money laundering. The CBSE will not conduct the class 10th examination, while the students of class 12th will be given an option for appearing in exams after conditions are conducive. The Solicitor General told the Supreme Court on Thursday. The class 12th students will get options to appear in exams or take assessment based on past 3 exams. The assessment results will be out by July 15, the Solicitor General told the court. The center will release a proper scheme of internal assessment by Friday. The matter has been adjourned to June 26. Talking about the scheme, Supreme Court pointed out that the scheme should clearly spell out that assessment will be basis of admission into future courses. Time frame to assess whether conditions are conducive. The decision to hold such exam in future to be taken at central level and not left to states. Center to file fresh affidavit by tomorrow. The court will hear the matter tomorrow after center files a new affidavit, clearing doubts raised by the court. The top court said there needs to be clarity in scheme as the delay in conducting exam will clash with the admission process of the universities. The court told the center that conductive conditions may vary from state to state and hence center must consider when they will revisit their decision, maybe after a month. The Supreme Court of India was hearing a plea filed by some parents whose children were to appear in the CBSE board exams. The top court had on June 17 asked the CBSE to consider cancelling the pending classes of 10th and 12th board examinations and allot marks on the basis of internal assessment. Earlier on Tuesday, CBSE had told Supreme Court that the deliberations for cancelling remaining class 10th and 12th board exams are at an advanced stage and a final decision in this regard is likely to be finalized by Wednesday, after which the bench of Justices A.M. Khanvilkar, Dinesh Maheshwari and Sanjeev Khanna said they will wait for CBSE's decision and deferred the next hearing to Thursday. The parents had in the plea that the board students could be exposed to COVID-19 infection if they appear for exams amid rising number of coronavirus cases in India. They also stated that the CBSE has cancelled the exam of class 10 and 12 for its around 250 schools situated abroad, and the board has decided to award marks based on either practical exams or an internal assessment because of the coronavirus pandemic. Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav has demanded that the central government tell the truth regarding recent Chinese incursions that led to violent clashes in the Galwan Valley along the LSE in eastern Ladakh, claiming lives of 20 Indian soldiers on June 15. Akhilesh also said that he did not agree with Prime Minister Narendra Modi's statement at the recently held all-party meet regarding the status at the China border, which had triggered political controversy. The government should tell the truth to the people. People want to know exactly what happened at the border. BJP wants to say everything but the truth to the public. There are reports that Chinese troops build-up at the LAC in Ladakh continues. This raises a big question over our national security. Akhilesh was referring to Prime Minister Narendra Modi's statement in which he claimed that no one has entered our territory, no one is at present within our territory and no one has occupied our posts. While sharing details of circumstances surrounding clashes between India and Chinese army personnel, I do not agree with the statement given by the Prime Minister. There are several Indians who do not agree with his his statement. This is an issue concerning national security and integrity. Therefore, it is important that the people and political parties are told the truth. Akhilesh said that his party stands with the government on the issue of national security, but he expressed surprise how Chinese managed to increase their build-up at the LAC without getting noticed. He added that the Doklam incident should have served as a warning to the Indian government. Equity benchmarks Sensex and Nifty ended marginally lower on Thursday after a volatile session amid expiry of monthly derivatives contracts. Weak cues from global markets also weighed on investor sentiment. After swinging 581 points during the day, the 30-share BSE Sensex settled at 26.88 points or 0.8% lower at 34,842. It touched an intraday high of 35,081 and a low of 34,499. Similarly, the NSE Nifty slipped 16.40 points or 0.16% to close at 10,288. During the day, it hit a high of 10,361 and a low of 10,194. Asian Paints was the top loser, shedding over 3%, followed by Infosys, HCL, Mahindra & Mahindra, ONGC, NTPC, IndusInd Bank and TCS. On the other hand, ITC, Bajaj Finance, Kotak Bank and HUL were among the gainers. The IMF said the global economy will shrink 4.9% this year, significantly worse than the 3% drop it had estimated in previous report in April. Also, the expiry day of monthly futures and options contracts fueled volatility in the market as it seesawed at crucial levels. Meanwhile, international oil benchmark Brent crude futures slipped 0.42% to US dollar 40.14 per barrel. On the currency front, the rupee provisionally settled 7 paise higher at 75.65 against the US dollar. The private sector will now be allowed to carry out space activities like building of rockets, satellites and providing launch services, ISRO chief K. Sivan said today. He said the private sector can also be part of the interplanetary missions of the Indian Space Research Organizations. The Union Cabinet on Wednesday approved participation of the private sector in the entire range of space activities, including planetary exploration missions. Dr. Sivan, however, added that ISRO's activities are not going to reduce and it will continue to carry our space-based activities, including advanced research and development, interplanetary and human space flight missions. That's all for now. Keep watching K News. This is Hardik Trivedi taking your leave. Be alert, be positive, be safe.